Yes, hello, let's try again. I got a lot of SMS and interrupt my reading, so actually I would like to read everything again because I have to answer a lot of SMS and it was disturbing my reading. And actually I do this because I like to read about it. So, but let's start all over again. Because I got interrupted 20 times because I was picking up my cell phone. I had to writing a lot of SMS, text message, so I'm not replying anything more. So I'm not just start my camcorder and do something else. Actually, I do this because I like to read it myself. I'm read it same time and listening to the voice. But my English is not so good. I need to look the text and I cannot typing my cell phone same time to do text message. Yes, it was a lot of text messages about my money problems, debt and stuff. I cannot think about that. I'm paying my debts every month, $1,000. I'm not owning anyone any money. I have some debts, but I'm paying my debt every month. I did that 7 years. But I have a low pension, so of course I'm lower money because on top of my rent, this apartment, I have to pay $1,000 every month. On top of my rent and my normal bills, I have to pay $1,000 to my debt, and I have a low pension, so of course I don't have any money left. But I know that, but I don't like to stop paying on my credit cards. I don't like to stop paying my online loans and my tax. I'm behind my tax. I'm paying to my tax. I'm paying to this camcorder, like this camcorder. No, actually this one I'm paying to this, and I'm paying both my cell phones. I have debt to my cell phones. I'm not going to stop pay that, and I cannot do anything about it because I have only my pension, and we have this war in Ukraine, and we have a big inflation, and we got 3 years coronavirus. And we got big high inflation and energy crisis, but I cannot text all about this because I just like to read this. So I have type. I don't like to talk about it more because I like to read this now and I cannot concentrate. I have to think about all my debt problems because I cannot do anything about it because I have a low pension. I don't have any money. I don't have money. I can just pay all my debts. So and I'm happy about I'm able to pay my debts. I'm happy about I'm still able to pay $1,000 to my debt every month. Many people they have to give up. They have to give up every month to pay the debts. And even the losing their homes, they have to give up paying debt, and the losing their, they have to give up paying rent their apartments. So I can still pay everything. I can still pay my rent, this apartment, my electricity bills. So, but I don't like to think about it. I'm trying to relax. I just try to relax and have a good day and read about something I like. I don't like to think about all my debt and problems. So I'm not replying anymore now on this cell phone. So I just like to read this today. And later I will watch Star Trek. So let's read all over again. Sorry for that, but let's read about it, because I have no chance to remember, because there's so many numbers, so many informations. I have to concentrate. So I cannot do something else, watching my cell phone or something else. Then that's no reason I do this, because why? I'm not just do this just to record a video. I do this because I like to read it myself. Of course, I could just start my camcorder and read it, and then take a walk 2 hours and get back. But it's not why I do this. So let's try again.
T-54/T-55. T-54/55 Victory Park, Kazan, 262-14.jpg. A T-54 tank on display at Victory Park, Kazan. Type medium tank, Warsaw Pact designation. Main battle tank. NATO designation. Place of origin Soviet Union. Service history. In service 1948. Present used by sea operators. Wars sea combat history. Production history. Designer T-54 OKB 520 T-54 and later. Designed 1947-1958. Manufacturers UVZ Soviet Union. Umar Abdi Poland. ZTS Martin, Czechoslovakia. Unit cost US $200,000. Export price to Egypt, 1956-1972. 1. Produced 1946-1981, Soviet Union. 1956-1979, Poland. The T-54 and T-55 tanks are a series of Soviet main battle tanks introduced in the years following the Second World War. The first T-54 prototype was completed at Nizhny Tagil by the end of 1945. 3. From late 1950s, the T-54 eventually became the main tank for armored units of the Soviet Army, armies of Warsaw Pact countries, and many others. T-54s and T-55s have been involved in many of the world's armed conflicts since their introduction in the second half of 20th century. The T-54/55 series is the most produced tank in history. Estimated production numbers for the series range from 96,500 to 100,000. They were replaced by the T-62, T-64, T-72, T-80 and T-90 tanks in the Soviet and Russian armies, but remain in use by up to 50 other armies worldwide, some having received sophisticated retrofitting. During the Cold War, Soviet tanks never directly faced the NATO adversaries in combat in Europe. However, the T-54/55's first appearance in the West around the period of the 1950s, then the beginning of the Cold War, spurred the United Kingdom to develop a new tank gun, the Royal Ordnance L7, and the United States to develop the M60 tank. 4. Development history. Predecessors, T-34 and T-44. The Soviet T-34 medium tank of the 1940s is considered to have the best balance of firepower. F-34 tank gun 76.2 mm gun, protection and mobility for its cost of any tank of its time in the world. 5. Its development never stopped throughout the Second World War and it continued to perform well. However, the designers could not incorporate the latest technologies or major developments as vital tank production could not be interrupted during wartime. In 1943, the Morozov Design Bureau resurrected the war T-34M development project and created the T-44 tank. Thanks to a space-efficient torsion bar. 1957-1983, Czechoslovakia. No build 96,500,100,000 plus estimated including 35,000 T-54 and 27,500 T-55, by Soviet Union. 13,000 Type 59/69/79/79, by China. 11,000 T-54/55, by Czechoslovakia. 10,000 T-54/55, by Poland. Variants see operators and variants section below. Specifications: T-55, mass 36 metric tons, 35.4 long tons, 39.7 short tons, length 9.00 m, 29 feet 6 in, with gun forward width 3.37 m, 11 feet 1 in, height 2.40 m, 7 feet 10 in, crew 4 armor 205 mm turret front, 130 mm turret sides, 60 mm turret rear, 30 mm turret roof, 120 mm hull front at 60 degree, 100 mm after 1949, 2. 79 mm hull upper sides, 20 mm hull lower sides, 60 mm at 0 degrees hull rear, 20 mm hull bottom, 33 16 mm hull roof. Main armament D10 T100 mm rifle gun, 43 rounds. Secondary armament 7.62 mm SGMT coaxial machine gun, 12.7 mm DSHK heavy machine gun. Suspension, a novel transverse engine mount, and the removal of the hull machine gunner's crew position. The T-44 had cross-country performance at least as good as T-34, but with substantially superior armor and a much more powerful 85 mm gun. By the time the T-44 was ready for production, the T-34 had also been modified to fit the same gun. Although the T-44 was superior in most other ways, but this time T-34 production was in full swing and the massive numbers of T-34s being built offset an advantage to smaller numbers of a superior design. The T-44 was produced in only small numbers, around 2,000 being completed during the war. Instead, the designers continued to use the design as the basis for further improved guns, experimenting with a 122 design, but later deciding a 100 mm gun was a better alternative. Prototypes. Efforts to fit the 100 mm gun to the T-44 demonstrated small changes to the design would greatly improve the combination. The main issue was a larger turret ring, which suggested slightly enlarging the hull. A prototype of the new design, about 40 cm, 16 in, longer and only 10 cm wider, was completed in 1945. This model looked almost identical to the original T-44, albeit with a much larger gun. In testing, there were several drawbacks that needed correcting and many alterations that had to be made to the vehicle's design. It was decided to begin serial production of the new vehicle, and the vehicle officially entered service in April 1946. It would go into production in Nizhny Tagil in 1947 and Kharkiv in 1948. 6. T-54. Production of the initial series of T-54s began slowly as 1,490 modifications were made. The Red Army received a tank that was superior to World War II designs and theoretically better than the newest tanks of potential opponents. The 100 mm gun fired BR-412 series full-caliber AFI ammunition, which had superior penetration ability when compared to the T-34 that it replaced. Engine model V-55, V-54, V-12 water-cooled. 38.88 liter diesel 500 horsepower, 373 kilowatts, up to 800 horsepower, 600 kilowatts, late versions. Power forward/weight 14.6 horsepower per metric ton, 10.9 kilowatt forward/T, transmission mechanical, synchronous, 5 forward, 1 reverse gear suspension torsion bar ground clearance 0.425 m, 16.7 in, fuel capacity 580 L internal, 320 L external, less on early T-54, 400 L jettisonable rear drums operational range 325 km, 202 mi, 610 km, 380 mi, with extra tanks, on unpaved roads, maximum speed 51 km per hour, 32 miles per hour. The original T-54-1. It has a turret reminiscent of the T-34-85S, with prominent, undercut shot traps. Thigh's example has the fender machine gun boxes replaced with fuel tanks. The serial production version, designated T-54-1, differed from the second T-54 prototype. It had thicker hull armor, 80 mm on the sides, 30 mm on the roof and 20 mm on the bottom. As production ramped up, quality problems emerged. Production was stopped and an improved T-54-2, Object 137R, version was designed. Several changes were made and a new turret was fitted. The new dome-shaped turret with flat sides was inspired by the turret from the IS-3 heavy tank. It is similar to the later T-54 turret but with a distinctive overhang at the rear. It also had a shorter muzzle. 7. The fender machine guns were removed in favor of a single bow-mounted machine gun. The transmission was modernized and the track was widened to 580 mm. The T-54-2 entered production in 1949 at Stalin Ural Tank Factory No. 183, Uralvagenzavod. In 1951, a second modernization was made, designated T-54-3, Object 137Sh, which had a new turret with outside undercuts, and the new T-2-22 telescopic gunner sight instead of the T-20. The tank featured the TD smoke generating system. A command version was built, the T-54K, Commanderski, with a second R113 radio. 7. T-54 and T-54B. In the beginning of the 1950s, the personnel of the OKB 520 Design Bureau of the Stalin Ural Tank Factory No. 183, Uralvagenzavod, had been changed considerably. Morozov was replaced by Kolesnikov, who in turn was replaced by Leonid N. Kartsev in March 1953. The first decision of the new designer was to fit the 100mm D10T tank gun with the STP-1 Gorizont vertical stabilizer. The new tank gun received their designation D10TG and was fitted into the T-54's turret. 7. The new tank received night vision equipment for the driver and was designated T-54, Object 137G. Originally, this had a small muzzle counterweight, which was later replaced with a Fume tractor. It was equipped with an OPVT wading snorkel, the T-22 telescopic sight, TVN-1 infrared driver's periscope and iriad light, a new R113 radio, multi-stage engine air filter and radiator controls for improved engine performance, an electrical oil pump, a bilge pump, an automatic fire extinguisher and extra fuel tanks. 7. The tank officially entered production in 1954 and service in 1955. It served as a basis for T-54 command tank, with additional R-112 radio set. Frontline tanks were equipped with R-113 radio set, TNA-2 navigational device, ammunition load for the main gun decreased by 5 rounds and the AB-1P /30 charging unit, which was produced in small numbers. In October 1954, a T-54 tank, designated as T-54M, Object 139,